Hello everyone, Bob Lewis around the world. So I thought I would give some time to respond to this comment. So this guy commented on my newest 12 tribes chart video, and he had a lot to say. Now right off the bat, he says, you know nothing, and Esau's Caucasian. I'm not even going to really get into that because for those who follow the channel, you know that we have covered this false doctrine time and time again. The Esau's the white man doctrine is a devil doctrine that didn't even originate with the One West camps, but it came from the Jewish Talmudic writers who said Esau is Rome, and then the One West camps later picked that up and created a doctrine out of it. Furthermore, we have covered on this channel so many times breaking this doctrine and exposing how satanic and false it is. For example, we looked at the ancient depictions made by the Romans depicting the Hebrew Edomites as being black people and Negroes, not white people. We've also pulled out some of other old sources talking about the flat noses and the swarthy complexion of the Edomites. We've also discovered that the Caucasians actually were walking on the face of this earth before Esau himself was even born. And we also exposed how all of the ways that the One West camps teach scripture to try and link Esau to the white man is false, and they actually twist scripture, ignore the Hebrew language, and chop up books, reading only a couple verses instead of reading the whole, all the chapters, because I would expose that what they're saying is false. All right, so Esau's not white. He is Japhet. That's who the white man is. So I'm not really going to cover that part because, as a matter of fact, the most recent big Edomite lesson I did is actually longer than Toy Story 1. So, in other words, that lesson is longer than a Disney movie, all right? Because I think Toy Story 1, I think the first Toy Story is like 1 hour and 30. That lesson is 1 hour and 40, all right? So, it's longer than Toy Story. That's how much information, the Most High Yah Yahuwah, only true living God who provides all great wisdom. That's how much, he has, to share about all of this wicked falsehood. So it's longer than Toy Story. We don't need to get into it. Now, talking about the other stuff he was saying. He was talking about the reason that the Latinos look the way that they do is because of interracial marriage, intermarriage. All right. Now, this is something that is commonly taught as like a theory to why, the Native Americans, the Siberian Native Americans, they're Israel. The European Latinos, they're Israel. They just look the way that they do because of marrying other nations. All right. Now, here's one thing I have to say. That is a half-truth, okay? It is a half-truth, okay? Because there are Israelites around the world who don't look like LeBron James. They don't look straight-up Negro. On the outside, they look kind of white, straight hair, lighter complexion, or they may look kind of Asian, different-looking eyes, But when you look at the DNA, they are related to us. You can't have somebody who does not look like an Israelite and is not genetically related to the Israelites and then say they're an Israelite. All right? That's not how it works. Okay? So I understand it's a true statement that not every Israelite looks like an Israelite. I mean, not every Israelite looks like a Negro. Okay? But the DNA is always going to prove it. So you're not going to have somebody who has no genetic connection whatsoever. Their haplogroup, completely different haplogroup, completely different letter series, and their DNA, their family lineage, originates on a completely different side of the earth to where ours originates, and we're going to call them an Israelite, all right? And a lot of these people don't even fit the curses, all right? So there's that. So, no, it's not a true statement to say that the European Latinos, Israelites, they're just mixed with European DNA, and that's why they look the way that they look, because they're straight up Europeans. Their haplogroup, their paternal lineage is of European descent. Seed goes through the father. So they are Japhetic Caucasians, Europeans. Okay, and you mentioned a lot of stuff about, there were other people who came into the Americas like Brits, Spaniards. Yeah, those are all Japhet types as well. Okay, you mentioned some other peoples, but it's like I said, Afro-Mexicans, they're Israelites. They match the curses. They're genetically related to us. And there may be some other Mexicans who don't look like us, but the blood says so. Okay, so when what the truth is people go, you Negro only, or you Latinos, Native Americans. Like, here's the thing. I'm DNA only. Okay, because that's the only truth that covers everybody. Because going back to the devil doctrine about Esau, the Hebrew Edomites are a Negro nation of people, just like the Moabites, just like the Ishmaelites. I mean, we literally have also covered on the channel a Negro. It was a depiction of Ishmael from the Middle East carved into stone that showed him as a black man. All right. Same thing with the Moabites. So you saying that every Israelite is Negro is not true neither, because some Negroes are Esau and some Negroes are Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, etc., etc. So that's something to key in too. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't have a genetic link to the Israelites, you're not an Israelite. All right. And this is something that every other nation understands, but we don't, because we've been conditioned by false doctrine and, this stuff that's not even true. Because if you go to any other nation and tell them, like, hey, Chinese emperor, here's this man. He does not look like you. He has no history being around your people. And he comes from a completely different haplogroup, meaning he's not related to you. And he has zero DNA to your people. So he comes from a different haplogroup. He's never been to this country before. He's never even met one of you guys before. And his haplogroup, not only is it not yours, it comes from a completely different letter series and originates on a different spot of the earth. But he's your brother. Accept him. That Chinese emperor is not going to accept that man. Okay? You go to the Europeans like, hey, here's this African man. He is not genetically related to you. He has no DNA connection to you. Nothing. All right. He does not look like you. He's never even been to this country before. He can't even speak the language, but he's your brother. Accept him. No one's doing that but us. Because you see, we hate sources and we hate truth. Okay. The One West camps have conditioned us and have polluted our minds. Okay. So it's not all about being black. It's not just a black thing. It's about being family. Okay. And if you're not genetically family, then you're not us. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be grafted in and you can't be, Isaiah 56, stranger dwelling in the house of Israel. You can be that. All right. So this is not about keeping people out and neglecting people. But when it comes to being of the seed of Jacob itself and not a grafted in Gentile vanilla seed, you have to be genetically related to us. And the fact of the matter is these Latinos are of a European haplogroup that comes from Spain and other places in Europe. So they're not us, okay? And that's a fact that is not negotiable, all right? Because you can, do what the One West camps do and twist scripture and, twist scripture and bend it and hide verses to try and make a false doctrine. But when you go to that table to do a DNA test and your blood comes back as R1B or R1A, it's over. Okay, it's not over because you can be a grafted in Gentile, you can be a stranger in the house of Israel. Like, you're not doomed to hellfire and destruction. That's false. But in terms of you, trying to say you're Judah and you're Issachar and make claims over the promises to the seed of Jacob, that part is over. All right. So many people just don't want to understand that there's 70 nations in Genesis 10. Everybody wants to be Israel, because people are coming up with so many doctrines saying, I don't have Israelite DNA, but I'm an Israelite. I don't look like an Israelite, but I'm an Israelite. My father is the emperor of Japan, but I'm an Israelite, because my mom's an Israelite. Or, I have no genetic nor history connection to the Israelites, but I'm suffering right now, so that means I'm an Israelite. Everybody wants to take the Israelite identity rather than going the Isaiah 56 route. If you really want to be loved by Yah and live among us and be a part of this thing, go Isaiah 56. Go that route. Graft it in. Then you'll be treated like a member of the family. But you always, these camps always trying to just throw Jacob DNA like a bumper sticker onto everybody when there's 70 nations, and these people don't even have any genetic connection to us. The European Cubans, the European Mexicans, they're not us. The DNA proves that, and history proves that. I mean, they don't even fit Deuteronomy 28.